Well, the U.S. president upbeat on China keeping to its side of the bargain on a truce on trade. Donald Trump telling reporters on Air Force One that China's president is willing to speed up the purchase of agricultural produce from the United States.
I think he's going to very much surprise you on the upside. I think he's going to, I asked him, I'd like you to buy it a little faster. I'd like you to buy more. And he's more or less agreed to do that. I think we will be pleasantly surprised by the actions of President Xi.
Mr. Trump's remarks coming a day after he held a phone call with his Chinese counterpart, Beijing describing those talks as positive, friendly and constructive. That phone call between Donald Trump and Xi Jinping viewed by many as another sign of improving relations. The U.S. leader planning a visit to Beijing next year, with his Chinese counterpart set to reciprocate with a trip to Washington, D.C. The leaders striking a framework for a deal when they met in South Korea last month, both sides agreeing to a one-year extension in their truce on trade. This had reduced some U.S. tariffs on Chinese goods, in return for Beijing delaying curbs on exports of rare earths and other critical minerals. The U.S. generally upbeat on forecasts following that truce, Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent confirming as on schedule the sale of American soybeans to China, although the actual scale of those purchases falling far short of the agreed target. And that was for at least 12 million metric tons to be bought before year's end. But data from the U.S. Department of Agriculture shows fulfillment of just 10% of the promised amount. Chinese curbs put on hold for a year, of course, on rare earths and critical minerals. But China's categorical dominance in rare earths mining, both in mining and processing, with experts warning this presents a strategic vulnerability that Washington needs to address. China said it will work with the U.S. to properly resolve this other matter on issues related to TikTok, although questions remain over U.S. ownership of the social media platform. Chinese owner ByteDance is working to sell its 80% stake to an American-led consortium. Donald Trump has signed executive orders to allow the app to continue working in the U.S.